Well, here we are. This is it. I have been wanting to start a YouTube channel for probably around the past 2 years, and I finally worked up the courage, worked up the display room here to actually give us a background to actually make it look normal, and I'm looking forward to actually seeing what comes of it. I don't know exactly what's in the pipeline, whether that is toy hunts, toy hauls, character reviews, behind the scenes photography for some of the toy photos that we do on the at Kiko Collects on the Instagram account. But I want to give this a shot. I just want to see how it goes. I like to try to keep things as one take and unedited as possible. That's just kind of like the way I want to roll with things. I want it to seem very natural. I don't want it to seem really scripted. I don't want it to seem weird or anything like that. So I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. So about 2.5 years ago, I started a toy photography account. Never really did anything with it. My buddy actually said, hey, do you actually want to kind of get this going? And I said, sure, why not? And I took some time off. You know, I had some Funko Pops I was taking some pictures of, a couple of Star Wars Black Series I was taking some photos of. But I got really serious with it about a year ago. And I've had the time of my life, and it's been a fun ride. Got myself over 1,000 followers right now. I know some people are like, well, that's not that much, but you know, you got to start somewhere. Same thing as this YouTube account. You got to start somewhere. So that's what we're at. Really have enjoyed doing that, and it really gave me kind of a rebirth to my toy collecting and my collection. I'll tell you a little bit more about myself, I suppose, is that I've grown up with action figures in my life, as far as I can remember. I think when I was around 5 or 6 years old, I remember going down to my grandma's basement, and there was this little blue treasure chest, and I remember opening that up, and inside were a couple vintage G.I. Joes and a couple vintage Star Wars figures. One of the things I remembered specifically was a vintage Stormtrooper, a vintage Gamorrean Guard, and I think a Snake Eyes and a Cobra Commander, amongst a few other things. And I fell in love with action figures at that moment, and I found out that they were my uncle's, and he had kind of just put them in a toy chest and kept them in my grandma's basement for safekeeping. And so from that moment on, I said, I have to have more of these things, and I just wanted to learn a little bit more about it. I went to yard sale after yard sale, flea market after flea market, getting tons and tons of specifically Star Wars figures. I was kind of what I focused on at that time. I went all over the place, filling up my curio cabinet with some of the 1977, 1980, 1983 Power of the Force figures. And then back in the 90s when they released the Power of the Force 2 line, I think is what it was. I remember going to Walmart seeing, the buff Luke Skywalker and the buff Darth Vader, and I said, I have to have these. And that's when my collection continued to grow and grow and grow. And I went all over the place, continuing to grow that thing. I had this wicker cabinet that I'd put them all in, and I got a couple of vehicles. Then episode 1 came out back in 1999, and I'm starting to date myself a little bit if you can't tell. But I really enjoyed every minute of it. And then around 14 years old, I made the biggest mistake of my entire life. I said, I don't know if I want to be collecting anymore. I don't know if I want to be known to have any toys. And I sold every single one of my Star Wars figures for pennies on the dollar, simply so I could have a little bit of extra money to go buy a guitar at that time. And it was the dumbest decision I ever made. I'd say, Mom, why did you ever let me do that? It was the dumbest thing I ever did. But ever since then, I said, you know what? This is who I am. This is what I really like to do. And I went back and decided, hey, I want to keep building out my collection. And I started grabbing little pieces here and there, and it wasn't until around 2 years ago where I said, hey, I'm ready to get back into collecting. I'm ready to actually really buckle down, find some of my grails, find some of the things that really made me smile as a kid, and start building out the collection again. And we're living in an age and a day where, toy collecting is really special. I mean, back in the day, the quality of action figure was pretty subpar and pretty laughable. It's funny to look, I'm just looking at some of the stuff on my shelf right now, and it's funny to think, how far we've come with our technology to where you have facial printing. I got some Hot Toys behind me. Looking at our Black Series, our Marvel Legends. The original, 3 3/4 Kenner action figures are kind of laughable. I mean, they have their place that got us to where we're at, but toy collecting and toys in general, action figures have really taken a next step, and I'm so proud to be able to say that I'm back in the collecting game. And so for the past 2 years, I've really kind of did everything I could to focus back on trying to find what is it I want to collect, where do I want to put my focus, where do I want to put my money, and ultimately, you know, what's going to make me happy. And so I really focused on Marvel, really focused on Star Wars, obviously, because that's the thing I grew up with, and I could not be happier with where I am. And going back to the toy photography page, I said, hey, I have all these toys. How do big kids play with their toys? And one of my little mottos has always been that toy photography is how big kids play with toys. And so that's exactly what I do. I take my figures out. You know, I put them in different backgrounds, different lighting. I've developed a few different techniques. Got a nice camera, and I make some art. I've always been an artsy person growing up. Was in art school. You know, when I was growing up, I'm a graphic designer currently. That's what I do for a living. But I've always enjoyed that, and so I love being able to kind of play with my toys in that light. But as you know, as a toy collector, you're never really done. You never achieve, you know, everything you've always been looking for. You're always on the hunt. And that's why I guess what this first video is a little bit about, is that I want to tell you a little bit about myself and how I'm here, but I want to share with you my weekend haul, if you want to call it that. Just recently went back to Cincinnati, Ohio. That's where I'm from. As you can see, I have my Cincinnati Reds shirt on. I got to go to the Reds game with my wife and had a good time with our family. But one of the best toy department, or one of the best toy stores in all of Cincinnati is the toy department. And so I was able to go there and pick up a couple things. Went to a couple Walgreens and found a couple of things I'll show you. And then my lovely mother, who has been my biggest supporter, next to my wife, obviously, since day one, I said, hey, Mom, you know, I'm out of state, but I need you to go to toy department and pick up a couple things for me. She grabbed a couple things, and I'll be sharing those with you here in just a moment as we do a full unboxing of a couple of these nice 1/6 scale collectibles, and then I'll show you a couple of the other things that we have here. But let's just have some fun with this channel. I just really wanted to get out here. As I said, let me know what it is that you kind of want to see. If you want to see some toy photography tips, obviously go to @Kiko, KECO.collects on Instagram and see what you like there. Let me know what it is that you want to see. If you want to see unboxing videos, if you want to see toy reviews, if you want to see collection things, if you want to see behind the scenes on how I take some of these videos, let me know what it is that you want to see down in the comments below. Make sure to share this. You know, I just want to join this community. One of the things I've loved the most about the toy community is just the community itself, how much fun you have with people, and being able to say, hey, check out this piece I got, or hey, wow, that's a really neat piece you have, or really cool photo, hey, where'd you find this? You know, we're just adults just having a good time here, and we're having a really special community, and so I'm really thankful for the people I have met through Instagram and the toy photography, as well as the people in the collecting business that I've met across you know, the cities and different places that I've traveled to. So without further ado, let me show you a couple things that I was able to find. Let's start with a little bit of old school, if you want to call it that. Marvel Legends is one thing that I recently got into after my love of Star Wars expanded. One of the things I think about Marvel Legends is that their attention to details, they're the perfect scale. That's one of the things I've always liked about it, is that the 3 3/4 inch figures, you know, you can't really get a lot of detail, can't get a lot of articulation, but the detail on the 6-inch figures have been really something I've been excited about. So I went to Toy Department. They were having a Father's Day sale, 10% off, so excited about that. And one of the ones I was actually looking for to get was Moon Knight. I've been looking for this forever. I know that people have been able to find him in Walgreens and different things like that. But Moon Knight is one of the figures I've been looking for. This is a crazy good figure. The sculpt is neat. I hear they're making a Moon Knight adaptation for the movie, potentially. So it's good to have this in the arsenal. A lot of neat accessories, a couple different hands. We'll unbox that in a minute and I'll show you kind of what we got. But Moon Knight is one guy I've been looking forward to getting. But also in the same wave, I noticed, as you can see here, I have my MCU villain shelf. One guy I've never really added to the villain shelf was Marvel's Vulture. Now, I'm a little disappointed that there's no Michael Keaton head sculpt. I think that'd be fantastic if we could actually get one of those. And if there's a third-party one and you know it, make sure to let me know. I'd love to get that. But Marvel's Vulture, very, very cool. Very, very love the detail. He's the actual Build-A-Figure. You get all the pieces together and you can build the Vulture wings. A little bit subpar. People have complained about that a little bit because obviously, you know, some of the bigger Build-A-Figures, you know, Hulkbuster, Thanos, things like that, people loved that, and this is kind of an add-on accessory to this figure, but I didn't have him yet, and I have a few of the other pieces. I still need to find some random, I guess that would end up being Jackal and Gargoyle, because I've never bought them because I thought they sucked. But now that I actually have Vulture and I can actually build this Build-A-Figure, I guess I'll probably go to the store and grab those, since they're probably sitting on every peg in Target, Walmart, or Walgreens, so it shouldn't be too hard to track down. So really excited to be able to pick those up. As I said, 10% off at the toy department. But since I went back home with my family, I decided to stop in at Walgreens, because you never know what you're going to find there. And I was able to find the new Molten Man Build-A-Figure line, and really excited about that. I was only able to find Spider-Man and the Mysterio, but these are really, really good. I've always had a thing for the Spider-Man figures. A little bit subpar on Iron Spider and the original Thanos Build-A-Figure from Avengers Infinity War. But this one's not too bad. It's the black and red suit, and if you look really close, it's kind of dark navy. I don't know if that's going to translate to the screen or not for when Far From Home comes out in a couple weeks. I'm really excited to see that, by the way. But this is a good action figure. If you can get any Spideys added to your collection, it's always a plus. But I really think the hero of the wave, aside from obviously maybe Scorpion, and I think you guys have probably already seen these of, what's out there. Scorpion, Doppelganger, Hydro Man. This is the one I was kind of excited for the most. We have the Marvel Legends comic book Mysterio. That's a really good one. I happened to lucked out and find one of the green head ones. Might as well, I don't know if you can see it back there, but he's next to Kingpin. Real excited to have actually gotten the green head Mysterio on that. But this is the MCU version, and I think it looks fantastic. I'm excited to see what Jake Gyllenhaal is going to actually do. I really wish there would have been a unmasked Jake Gyllenhaal head. That may be coming eventually. And as I said, same thing with the Michael Keaton head. If you know anybody that has third-party heads that we can actually use to put on here, that'd be really cool. But I was really excited about that. So yeah, the Marvel's Mysterio and the Marvel Spider-Man from Far From Home. But those were not the Grail pieces. These are the Grail pieces I was looking for. And I'm going to start with this one right here. That being Guardians of the Galaxy Yondu. Been looking forward to getting this one 1/6 scale. I think I said earlier that these Marvel Legends were 1/6. These are 1/12. They are 6 inches, but this is a 1/6 scale, and I've been looking forward to this one. I can't wait to unbox that with you here in just a few minutes. The detail on this one, from everything I've seen, is something I've always wanted to have, and thankfully Mommy was able to come and grab that for me. And in case you're wondering, yes, I did Venmo my mother. She does not sit there and have to shell out for my obsession. I Venmo my mother as soon as she takes care of it. So Mom, if you ever are watching this, thank you for everything you do with that. But we're looking forward to Yondu. But my absolute grail that I've been looking forward to actually getting forever, could not find it because it's a little bit harder to find, is Toy Era's The Mechanical. Now you say, what is this? This is a third-party 1/6 figure, and because they don't have the licensing to do, I guess, Josh Brolin's Cable from Deadpool 2, we get this right here. And this is one of the coolest 1/6 scale figures I've seen out there. I've seen every review possible, so now I'm getting ready to give you mine as we unbox this. But this is a fantastic figure. It's going to look fantastic next to my Deadpool Hot Toys. Looking forward to being able to put those together. So now that you've learned a little bit more about me and you've seen a little bit about this, I want to unbox a couple of things for you and let you see what it is. Thank you for enjoying and staying with us this long. We're 13 minutes in, so stick with us for a couple more minutes. Let's see what's inside these things. And thank you so much for looking, sharing, commenting, and let's have some fun with what we're getting ready to do here. All right, I'm just going to be honest with you. I tried everything I could to kind of figure out the best way to unbox this. I couldn't find the right angle, and maybe a little bit more practice would make perfect. But I'm going to figure that out. So for this, at least, I want to show you the cable, and I'm going to kind of show you the unboxing of Yondu really quickly, just because I know that we're already 13 minutes into this thing, and I don't want you guys to sit around forever, because I know that everyone's time is precious. So let's take a real quick look at what is inside the Mechanical. Obviously, it's taken a little bit of liberties from Hot Toys as far as the packaging goes. Really nice cover slip sleeve there. But one of the things I really like about this on the inside is that if you've seen Deadpool 2, you know he carries around the little bear in kind of remembrance of his daughter. A little bit Back to the Future type of thing, to where he kept looking at the picture to see whether or not his brother and sister were disappearing or not. So as you know, spoiler alert, in Deadpool 2, he carries around the bear and that kind of lets you know whether or not the time travel and the event changing in the future, whether that works. So if you haven't seen Deadpool 2 and I messed you up, my bad. So let's try take a look at this. So one of the things I loved about this is that it's a Josh Brolin likeness. I really got some really neat ideas I wanted to do with this particular Cable figure and the Hot Toys Thanos back there. So I have a couple neat ideas with it. So I'm just going to take the little top off here. You know, it's real similar to a lot of your 6th scale toys. A lot of different things in it. You have the bear, you have the multiple hands, and you have the mechanical hands, and that's the thing I'm excited about the most. So let me dive right in here and kind of show you what we're looking at. Just from first impressions, I think the head sculpt on the Josh Brolin is pretty spot on. It lacks a little bit of the shine, I suppose, if you want to call it that the Hot Toys eyes have. But overall, pretty impressive. I'm looking forward to actually taking some pictures with this tonight to kind of show you what we have here. But there's leather gun holsters. He's got an actual, it seems like, rainproof coat. But the main part I really like about this mechanical is this mechanical arm. This is absolutely fantastic. The posability on it, just out of the box, seems pretty dang good. Looking forward to kind of seeing what we do with it. But overall, if you can see here, it's got the texture on the back of his mechanical body, and from what I've read and seen on other reviews is that it actually goes under the suit here. So that's pretty darn impressive for a third-party figure to actually do, and the head popped off, so that's interesting to note. But it should be able to pop right back on, and it does. But a little bit of limited movement, not happy about that. Maybe the head wasn't on like it was supposed to, but not a real thrilled about that. So we'll see if we can't do something as far as the posing goes when the time is. But overall, I love this likeness. Once again, the only thing I think missing is the gleam in the eye that you'll sometimes get on a Hot Toys eye. But I think this is pretty dang impressive. I'm looking forward to that. It comes with a bunch of clips and hands. I've heard people complain about the stand that it comes with. That's pretty basic. But the thing I think is pretty dang cool is the gun. I believe it's all die cast, and it even has what I think is a little bit of the details that it shows. It has the guitar little nozzle that he would turn over to turn it up to 11 to when he would fire. So you can actually build out the pieces here. Looks really good, kind of standard 6 scale stuff. Real high quality. Looking forward to kind of putting these in motion and kind of seeing what they look like. Comes with belt clips, comes with your ammo clips, kind of standard stuff with 6 scale. But what I'll probably do with mine is that I'll pose him next to Deadpool, and really looking forward to actually seeing what this gun will do. But overall, right out of the box impressions, as far as looks goes, I give this a solid 9 out of 10. Not bad at all, but like I said, the head popped off when we were trying that there, so not real thrilled with that. We'll see as far as the posability goes, how that holds up in photography. So hang on one second and we'll grab Yondu and we'll see how they look together. And here we go with Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Always love the way they did the slip cases for these figures, kind of the Awesome Mix that Star-Lord, Chris Pratt uses. This is Awesome Mix Volume 2. And what they used here on the microchips are all the designers of the figure, which I thought was neat. And also shout out to JC Hong, who is one of the most amazing head sculptors and head painters out there. So fantastic job. Looking forward to this. So I've been spoiled a little bit because I've seen so many reviews of this. I'm just happy to have it myself. Out of the box, My first impressions, I will let you know. Let me take off the plastic sleeve that kind of sits on top of it. I hear this is one of the best likenesses of any actor that's out there, and I will give you my first impressions right now, and it is stunning. Not too bad at all. As you can see here, this is an amazing likeness of Michael Rooker, and I think they absolutely nailed this, and who doesn't want a little blue man in their group of photos? And so it has multiple hands, multiple accessories. The thing I like the most is that this piece is removable, so you can get the iconic kind of mohawk look that he used in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I think the detail on not only the eyes, as I mentioned in the Cable review, but his like scruff on his neck is absolutely stunning. So his like kind of beard into his neck beard is really crazy, as well as the veins. And as these videos goes along, we'll figure these out a little bit better on how we can show these some different things. So overall, this is an amazing likeness. Really excited for it. It comes with, this is interesting. It comes with a little baby Groot, so who doesn't like that? So a 6 scale baby Groot, so I'm looking forward to doing some different things with that in the toy photography world. Multiple hands, as you can see. The texturing on it is fantastic. You can even look and see the veins that they have inside it. Really cool. I don't know if it'll ever focus, but it's worth a shot. So very neat, solid job on this toy here. And he has the Yakka arrows that you can actually build the different I guess paths that you want to call it that the arrow would go. I feel like this could be a little bit frustrating trying to get this to sync up right and get it to go in the normal way. But if you want, you can pull his coat back, you can put the arrow in his hand and do some different little things. I wish that he had maybe a whistling head sculpt. I know that that's maybe asking a lot because most of these don't really come with an alternate head sculpt. But I think that would kind of be cool to see, just because I know that the Marvel Legends comes with a whistling head sculpt too. But overall, this Ravager's outfit, the Yakka arrow, the head sculpt is, I think, by far one of the best that you'll see. So between the two, as we kind of finish things up here, just wanted to show you these two unboxings. As far as likeness, I think these are both pretty dang good. As we talked about, Cable looks fantastic, Yondu looks fantastic. Really looking forward to getting these in the toy photography page sooner than later. And if you end up seeing this by now, you'll probably see that I took some shots of Cable, and you can find him over on the Instagram page. But this is what we're going to do. Let me know what your thoughts are of these reviews, these unboxings, my stories, me in general. If you think I suck, make sure to let me know. Just be nice about it. But I'm really looking forward to continuing this. I've been wanting to do YouTube videos for a long time and just share my passion with the toy community, with the collections that I have. And I want to see your guys. I want to see what you guys have as well. And I just want you to come along with me as I continue to grow my collection, share some things with you, whether that be the toy photography behind the scenes or just a little bit more about me and my collection. I want to thank you so much for being a part of this. Make sure to share it, make sure to subscribe, and looking forward to hopefully weekly getting something out to you and a lot shorter. The first one's always the longest and you have to kind of find your way through it. So thank you so much. Looking forward to talking with you all soon, and make sure to follow me on @kiko.collects on Instagram, and looking forward for everything that's to come here in the next couple weeks, days, months, years. Who knows how long this goes, but thank you so much for your support. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.